Struggling with personal power? Wondering where you have to go to get some? Interested in how you can deepen your connection to the divine? I know these are a few questions you've been asking yourself, and you're in the right place. I'm Jacqueline Hopper. I'm a psychic empowerment coach, energy healer, and best-selling author. I help people from all walks of life connect to their spiritual self and support them in expanding their relationship with the universe. I support spiritual entrepreneurs who desire thriving businesses that make the money and impact they wish to make. This podcast combines everything I've learned during my own spiritual journey and my time working with hundreds of clients. It's my love letter to anyone who's yearning to harness the power that they have. Welcome to the Sovereign Soul with Jacqueline Hopper. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? I'm so excited for today's episode. It has been long overdue. I cannot even tell you how long it's been. I am so excited to chat with you today about this topic. There's actually quite a few topics, and I've jotted them all down because I don't want to lose any insight on any of them. But I also don't want to bombard the listeners and viewers with too much at one time. So I think the biggest thing that's kind of lingering in the air right now to speak on is energy. I think it's the number one question people have. What in the world is energy? What does it mean to read energy? What does it mean to heal with energy? What is all that? What is it all? I will share with you a bit about my story. So I would say it was 2017, early part of maybe 2016 when I found Reiki. And I love me some Reiki. I invested in the Reiki modality all the way level 1, level 2 master teacher. And I remember feeling so proud of myself. I printed off the certificate and put it in my binder with all the notes that I took and what have you. And as soon as I closed it, my guide came in and said, put to good use, but it remains on the shelf. And I remember going, what? What are you talking about? I thought I was going to be this amazing, spectacular Reiki master, right? And I am, but I wasn't, and I'm not because I do it differently. Reiki is the ability to bring energy from source, from God, from the universe, and to pull it through us and to deliver it through holding space for someone wherever they're going to need it, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever. And it's amazing. It's an amazing modality for healing. I took it in a different direction. I took from the Reiki lessons the knowledge that I learned about the chakra system and the energy system. That was pretty much the intention that the universe had for me in taking it. I understood a lot about the energy centers. And this is a primary energy center that I work with others. You have meridians, you have your energy field, you have your aura, you have your chakras, you have your nervous system. There's just never ending to you and all that you possess. But energy is what you are in the body. It's what keeps the body present in the physical right now. You know, it is what you can't find when you crack a person open. But it's the first thing that people, you know, they point to their heart chakras, their heart space when you ask them where they are. Who is, you know, Jackie Hopper? Well, I am Jackie Hopper. Where is she? She's right here. But if you cracked me open, you're not going to find that. The energy that pulses through you is magnetic, and it is something that you use to communicate with the outside world. And it's what you use to communicate with the universe. Depending upon your vibration, you kind of know the kind of life you're showing up in. You know, if you're not liking the way things are, we want to shift your energy. That is how you're going to come into more. But if you're not keeping up on your energetic hygiene, meaning you're leaking energy everywhere, you're attempting to show up and be everything and everyone for everyone else, but not you. You're not taking care of yourself. You're not doing the self-care that you need. You're not resting like you should. You're pushing yourself. You're depleted. You're absolutely depleted. And so wouldn't it make sense then that there's more things to be frustrated about, or more things to then complain about, or less awesome, wonderful, magnificent miracles happening in your world because you're depleted? Your energy is, wah. When you're wanting to physically feel better, you're wanting to focus on your energy. Anything energetic that's left for long enough, it becomes a physical symptom. And oftentimes it's what I use to read what someone needs to do healing on. They come and they say, I have a lot of belly issues, digestive issues. This speaks to me about their energy when it comes to their confidence, their self-esteem, their worthiness, their ability to connect to that worthiness. It's their body's way of saying, hey, we need attention. We need attention. We need to either slow down. We need to go inside us to really ask ourselves those tough questions. Am I showing up and being everything for everyone and putting myself on the back burner? You didn't come here to live your life for someone else. You came here to live your life for you. And energy is one of these, I think, never-ending, fascinating topics for me. I love working with different types of energy here in the physical world, but also in the spiritual realm. There's definitely levels to energy in the spiritual realm. And we connect to them differently. I connect to them differently. It's no different being able to communicate with your friend, to me, than being able to communicate with a spirit guide or a deceased or departed loved one, or an angel for that matter, And I think when we start remembering meaning that you've always known this, it's just not something you've dove into, and maybe something you're just starting to get an intuitive hit on. When you remember what you are, a spiritual being having a human experience, personally, I think it gives us permission to kind of ease off of all the pressure we put on ourselves. It's not this one life, in my opinion, one and done. I think we come back and we live many, and we've had already experience of living lifetimes, and all of the wealth and the knowledge that and the healing that we learned in those, we carry with us today. So there's something to be very much said about our ability to connect to ourselves, to our energy, and kind of navigate where we are so that we can thrive. And I think that's going to be the topic, to be honest with you, for a few weeks to come, because I really want to take people into ways that they can raise their energy vibration so that they're physically feeling better and manifesting more. We talked a lot about gratitude and manifestation. If your energy is completely tanked and depleted, it's not magnetically picking up nearly what it could if it was, of a higher vibration, meaning it was, more keyed in the flow of love and joy and happiness. You aren't happy when you're depleted. You're exhausted. And most people can resonate with that. Most people will say, Jackie, I'm exhausted. And I'll say, physically? No, like mentally or emotionally. That's how you know you need to work on your energy. If you're physically exhausted, we know what we need to do. Go take a nap, go to bed early, get some exercise in and move some energy. That'll help you feel better. But most people don't know how to fix the energetic or emotional exhaustion. And in the times that we're in right now, there's a lot of that. Even though we've slowed down as a society, through, isolations and quarantines and redirecting the sales because of, not being able to go to work in a certain way and it looking different for some. Same with school. There's ever more awareness of emotions right now, and the emotions of others. A lot of empathic people that pick up the energy of other people and the emotions of other people, and they dress themselves in it. They literally put it on like a coat. And then they carry it around with them all day long. That energy is not yours. Why would we want to be working with us and having to, keep up on us, but then also have all the other energy that's around from our collective hanging around too? It can really, really put us off and out of alignment. So I think this conversation, wherever it may go, and I'm going to really try. I had a VA that said, hey, you really got to make sure you start from like the beginning for people that are not accustomed to listening to stuff like this. You've got to remember you've got a broad range of people. So I'm going to try really hard to meet everybody at their level of awareness. Energy is what you are in a physical body, and energy is what you're going to be when your physical body is no longer here. When you die and you transition, you're transitioning from a physical spirit or a physical experience to a spiritual experience once more. Albert Einstein actually said energy cannot be created or destroyed. It just takes on new form. And that's exactly what you do. You are here in a body temporarily, but then when you exit the body, you're more spirit than you ever were. And, you still are existent. It's what I can communicate with, and it's what I can pick up when I bring people in and support them, with their loved ones from the other side. I think it's going to be empowering. I'm going to use that word. I think it's going to be really empowering for people to learn a little bit more about energy so that they then can ask themselves, what are they doing in their day-to-day that they can surrender and not do because it doesn't bring them a feeling or an energy of happiness. You want so much more of the happy than you want, the mundane and the frustration and the anxiety. This energy is just there to show you, hey, I'm not in alignment right now with my happy, which is what you are at your core. We take it all away. What you are is a pure, positive love extension of source or of God or of the universe, however you deem it. You're an extension of that. So when you feel anything other than that, you've given your power or your attention away to something else. We want to help people remember how to stay in their own lane. And that lane is alignment to themselves and their inner being. Plain and simple. I want you to really be able to pull yourself out of a funk when you're in one, to have the tools that you need to be able to navigate a panic attack. I know for me, panic attacks could be debilitating, especially when it was around money or if it's around my children. My kids are my trigger. The universe uses dreams of my children to get my attention. But I know that those two areas can really throw me into some panic. But panic often is just an indicator that in that moment, you don't feel safe. You don't feel protected. And our energy wants to be anywhere but in the body when that happens because, well, what are you? Pure positive love and bliss and happiness, right? Like anything that's against that feels absolutely terrible. Who wants to show up for that? Certainly not me. And it's obvious when things like that happen and my energy tanks or my energy system starts to react and shut down. And then I physically feel ill. And many people are struggling with this. And I think many people, because they don't have the awareness, they're using outside things to numb themselves rather than really using how they feel as an opportunity to grow. You came here to learn. You came here to this earth to expand, not just for yourself. You came here to learn life lessons that would help your soul expand. You came here for a very big reason. And it's not just for you, but it's for the collective as well. When you learn something, if you're like me, and I know you are, you can't help but spread it around and share it with people. I created a book for that because I was so excited about being able to tell people what I know so far, and help them in any way that I can. That's why my business was created to, affect the life of one person. And my gosh, it's so exciting to know how many people I've actually affected since my business started in 2017. And it's all about, navigating energy, learning how to work with energy, how to heal energy, and how to really use it for your own personal growth and good, so that you can have the things that you want. You're entitled to all of that because you were a spirit having a human experience. You're entitled to all of that. And I think when people really start embracing that a bit more, there's going to be some shifts and changes that happen that they're not going to be able to deny. That's the really fun part about it all. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next few weeks with you all and being able to go a little bit deeper into the energy teachings of what it is and how to use it. Once you take this path and once you start to learn about energy, you become more clairsentiently aware of energy that's around you. I think a lot of people, when they think of psychic and when they think of medium, they get a little put off because, I don't want any dead people at my door. But when you recognize what energy is and when you know really how to harness it and use it, it's not threatening in any way, shape, or form. It's an exciting thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's very exciting for me. I love, love, love being able to do this work every day. And like I said, I think it's very empowering to people to be able to heal themselves without having to go outside to numb it or to stuff it. That's a lot of the obesity that we have. People eating their emotions rather than understanding them or doing the work necessary to shift them. It's not difficult and it's not fun. I will tell you that. It's not fun. A healing experience isn't often fun, but it's also not a difficult thing to do. You can meditate on things. You can journal on things. You can set new practices and routines for things. You don't have to stuff it. You don't have to hate you. You don't have to think terrible things about yourself. You can absolutely love every inch of you, every experience that you've been through, even the trauma, because it serves a very great purpose for you. I'm getting emotional. It serves a huge purpose. And your spirit it can't be broken. Energy can't be destroyed, meaning you cannot be destroyed. Nothing that happens here in this world can destroy you. Nothing. I think sometimes our souls cry when some of these things take place, but nevertheless, you can't be destroyed. Nothing, no one's words, no one's actions, nothing can destroy you. You're a magnificent extension of Source, and you will always remain that. And owning that, I think, is also going to be half the battle. There's a lot of people that they can't bring in the energy of a compliment or the energy of love from outside because they don't think they're deserving of it. They don't think they're worth it. They were told when they were younger, little kids, that they were bad. And that sticks with adults. You'd be surprised in how many ways and to what degrees. But let me tell you, friend, you are good. Through and through, you are good. And through, you are worth everything and then some. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much what we wanted to share with you all today. I'm stoked. I have to tell you, I got an email the other day that said, your podcast ranks at 185 in spirituality and religion. Can I just toot my horn? Like, beep, beep. Is there a sound effect for horn? Like, that's amazing. That's amazing considering there's got to be thousands and thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of podcasts by now. 185? Like, yes, girl. I'm just honestly letting this podcast do what it wants to do. Take it and go. I hope that this resonates or that it sets something off within you that inspires you to share it with everybody that you know, because that's exciting. But it's got an energy of its own, and it is definitely... it's going to do the damn thing. So I'm stoked. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on today's episode. Be sure to write them wherever you're finding me and connect with me on my website, JacquelineHopper.com, because I like exchanging with everybody. So I will be speaking with you very soon. But until then, have a great, 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 great day. Bye. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It makes it so much easier for others to find the show. Until next week, all my love.